Hello, welcome to The Mouth of Truth, the live stream from behind the scenes of Ren, the Girl with the Mark. Episode 3 of Season 2 has just dropped. Hopefully you've come here directly from there. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. We are joined by some very special guests shortly to talk all about it. First of all, I do want to say you might have noticed we announced our Patreon goal about a week ago. Our goal is to reach 300 paid Patreon members in the next 2 weeks to enable us to film season 3 this year. I know you guys do not want this series to go on another hiatus. Please, please, please help us keep the momentum going and to reach that target. I know I'm probably preaching to the converted. I'm sure many of you watching are already paid members, but please keep spreading the word, keep telling everybody you know, get them to watch the show. That's the first step to getting them addicted and wanting to get involved in our community and get all the amazing bonus features like this merch which I'm wearing here. Short stories, audiobooks. We just put out an audiobook called Water to the Well, written by Ash Finn, read by Steph Swan, all about a very emotional period in Ren's childhood. There's loads of fantastic stuff like that on the Patreon, so please check it out. And if you join during the stream, there'll even be a special message popping up. You can trigger the special Patreon message. Right, hello to everyone in the chat. Thanks for your comments on the episode itself as well. Really great feedback from everyone there. Hello to everyone here in the live stream chat as well. Hello to Daniela. Hello to Toby. JHGK98. I always have to stumble over that one and get the letters in the right order. Dear Neil and Team Ren, this was independent filmmaking at its absolute best. JHGK98 says, I would like to congratulate everyone involved on making such a high quality series. Everything was just brilliant. Well, thank you so much. I think this is the best episode in season 2, Mustafa Kazuli says. Oh, well, I know you'll have made at least one person very, very happy with that, and we'll speak to him shortly. Simon C says, the landlady giving the Strawberry Army are a good hide. The Strawberry Army. This seems to be a term that is that has come up for the Kanath. We like to call them. We call the Kanath all kinds of things behind the scenes. Stupors in universe as well. Hello to Murto. Joining Patreon was a good decision, worth every penny. JHGK98 says. Well, there you go. You've heard it from the horse's mouth there. And Christopher Buckingham, who was one of our amazing crew, says the crew are an awesome team of people. Well, there you go. An unbiased opinion there. Thank you, Christopher. Right, let's bring in our special guests. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Right.
With added cat.
Oh, an extra special guest. Unexpected. Right, would you like to introduce yourselves? We'll start with Ronin.
Hi, I'm Ronin. Worked on the fights and action for the series.
Fantastic. Jonnie?
Hi, I'm Jonnie Howard. I was the director of episode 3.
And Helen?
And I'm Helen Fullerton, and I was Sol, the tavern landlady.
Okay. And who's the cat?
The cat is Kipper.
Ah, hello, Kipper.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Hello, gang, says Kate Madison. No idea who that is. Well, we've just watched episode 3. I hope you enjoyed it. We certainly have got some good feedback there already. So I think we really got to start with talking about the standout action moment in that episode, and possibly the whole season, which is that fight scene on the bridge. Jonnie, where did that all start?
Well, it started from the script, really, because what better way to put the audience in the ambush is like in the middle of it, like in media res, like just plonk them in the middle and then deal with it, and then like because at the end of it, you saw Helen or Sol say, "Now you know how," in a great Sean Bean-esque way. And then rather than showing the kind of Ocean's 11 sort of funky bass, right, if they're taking them to Grey Ridge Prison, they're gonna have to cross this bridge. And then rather than seeing all of the plans, just drop them right bang in the middle of it and do it in a crazy oneer, but oneer in quotes, as I'm sure people will know. There were cuts, or maybe they didn't know. Let us know in the comments below. Did you notice the cut, and how many? Did we have more or less than 1917? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's a good thing actually. How many separate shots do you think there actually were in that what appears to be one continuous 2-minute take there? And then we'll tell you a bit later on if anyone's.
And then so then we once I pitched this to you, Neil, and you gave it a tentative green light, we had to then go and ask Ronin if he thought it was possible. At which case I will hand over the anecdote to Ronin.
I'll just say yes to anything that I'm asked. Yeah, no, it was cool. It was fun. It was challenging, but I think that's what's nice about working on this series, that everyone can just like have ideas, come to the table, and just go, let's just do what we want to think is our vision and do it. So it's quite fun to get those opportunities, I think. We had a lot of people involved in that one, like who are day players who just working crew and standing in and getting thrown over bridges when we might not have signed up for that, but that's what we did to them.
But then there was also the lots at your studio that we were rehearsing where the bridge was just made out of cardboard boxes, and then we had like principal characters in bibs, and then we kind of shot it on mobile phones just to see if it could, in theory, work. Having identified the story beats, like what are the main bits of action? Like, for example, we need to know that the keys are on the belt. How does he gain access to those? Ren then needs to release the prisoners. How do we follow that action? So we had to kind of create this geography that worked for the location, but also for the story. And I remember I won't say how many beats we had because that will reveal how many shots there were. But yeah, that was really fun working in the studio with your crew. Kind of just, as you said, having fun and just trying to, make it work.
Yeah, so for people watching, we said some people just pop in for an hour, pop off again. A couple of people come down for a full day, so they were just helping out and standing in for different characters and actors. So we tried to block out as much as we could. I think the main challenge is just the location being so steep. We couldn't block that out in the flat studio, so we could kind of get the idea of movement, but we couldn't get the challenge for like the logistics of getting up and down the hill or how steep it would be till we kind of got there, and then we managed that process when we get there.
And then poor Ivan had to roll down a very steep hill.
Well, we kind of put that in because I was having a conversation with Ivan, just going, at some point you're probably just going to fall over and fall down the hill because it's so steep. So let's try and make sure you don't do that by accident, but let's just make you fall down it on purpose, and then we can do it safely. And he was quite excited. He's got his stunt pads and was like up for it. So he did a good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the poor guy had to do that multiple times, as you always have to do in filmmaking as well at 1 o'clock in the morning. So fair play to him and to everyone for doing that. That sequence was, of course, that was shot on the Works Bridge, Pontygraith, in South Wales, about an hour up the valley from Cardiff.
An hour blue plaque on it that says Ren Episode 3 was shot here.
There should be.
Tour groups are available on the Patreon.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a holiday, crew holiday, about three weeks into the shoot. Got away for 4 or 5 nights. All of us staying in 3 Airbnbs in the next village, Aberfan. What was that like?
Oh, I had a whole room to myself, so I was fine. Nice. Actually, no, Ivan was on the sofa, wasn't he? Yeah.
It was good fun. We didn't. Oh, sorry, Chloe.
There you go.
Didn't really get to see too much of it because we saw it driving to and from location, but obviously because we're doing night shoots and everybody else was probably in the pub locally, so we didn't get to kind of see that element of it. But go out for a walk in the daytime, there's some nice areas.
Or if you're Alex, go for a run you've just done a 12+ hour night shoot or whatever. Wake up, go for a run. You know, why not? But no, it was kind of like a really fun school trip. We were this sort of splinter cell part of the unit because obviously budgetary reasons, not everyone could come up. So we had some support from local crew as well. Was it Bradley, Jonathan, and a few local talent.
Rachel on makeup, yeah.
And Rachel makeup as well, yeah. So we kind of had this little nice splinter cell unit from Cambridgeshire, and then collaborating with the local crew in Wales was, a really nice atmosphere. Considering we weren't wet because we were very fortunate with the weather, but it was still cold, it was still late, and we were just saying in the preamble before this that all of the stuff that was shot in daytime in episode 3 was either before a night shoot or just after a night shoot. So it was intense, but hopefully it was worth it for everyone watching. So fingers crossed.
Just checking through the comments here. Whoop whoop says Maylin. Hello, Maylin. Maylin was the what's the character called? Sergeant Everly.
Who goes there?
Yeah. Fighting on the bridge. It's awesome that Helen is wearing the Patreon merch, says Christopher Buckingham. Yes, she is. We've got the matching t-shirts going.
Hope you're wearing yours, Christopher.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Helen's even got her Patreon mug. I've got one of the legacy mugs from season 1. GK98 says, I have a question for the director Jonnie Howard. Could you give us some insight on how you directed Richard Zeman in the tavern scene? It is one of the most powerful scenes in the series, I think.
That's a really good question. It's essentially Darth Vader combined with the bad from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I had the tough question of going to him, I want to do this in a oneer, Richard. Do you think you're up for it? And it's a shame he's not here to talk about it because he was an absolute, he smashed it, which I hope we can all agree. I think he really enjoyed the idea of being a bit of a predator, a bit of a cat and a mouse moment with Hestinger in the prisoner's chair, because he literally is toying with him. We got him to snake around, as you'll see. He kind of walks past the window, sniffs the stale beer, goes and plays with a little board game, puts out a candle, and then drags the chair. He really labors the point and just extends. So we're not going to show the actual torture, but you get a sense of how cruel and violent this guy can be. But yeah, it was definitely a can we put a Darth Vader kind of moment with, and as you'll see with the silhouette where he's in the doorway, that was very much open the blast doors moment. But yeah, Richard was fantastic playing that kind of. He goes full Terminator in this episode, so I think he really enjoyed. I don't want to speak for him, but I got the sense he enjoyed filming that scene.
Yeah, no, I really think he did. He was. I think he was pretty excited about it from when he first read the script. Actually,
yeah, it was a big chunk of monologue.
Yeah, it was. Yes, we had hoped Richard would be able to join us tonight, but who knows? He may pop up later. But
put all of your support in the comments, and I'm sure he'll check out the YouTube channel, and then he'll see your comments there. So yeah, do support Richard.
Hello to Alan Hay. He says, greetings, everyone. Alan, of course, known to Ren fans as Torbury from season 1, and also was our third AD on season 2.
And as Brian Buckley, of course. But that's
oh yes, of course. Have we got any Harvey Greenfield fans in the audience? Brian Buckley as well. Katie B says you should call the set builders and crew the muddy ones. Well, we certainly were when we did the battlefield scene. I will say that. Torbury, you better be alive. Well, there you go. We will find out, perhaps at some point. And I thought the Master was more of a Darth Vader, says Toby. At least I think that's what he says, with one word slightly covered up by the slightly annoying layout here. Yes, and I thought the Master was more of a Darth Vader. Well, yes, I guess the Master has definitely got that vibe going as well.
Siths come in pairs, so it still makes sense.
Yeah.
They've all got capes.
Yeah.
They've all got capes. Exactly. Muddy ones forever, says Just Me Filming. Absolutely. So Helen, you had some experience of fighting with a staff before, right?
Yes, it's one of my favourite weapon systems, although this one was slightly shorter than normal because of the bridge. I think you couldn't cut the swords down, but you could cut my stick down. So.
Is that stage combat, Helen, or you just go around whooping
Oh
people?
no, I just go around hitting.
Yeah.
No, stage combat.
I mean, who doesn't have a preferred mode of combat, you know?
Yeah, and that was just coincidence as well. It was in the script that Soul uses a staff.
Yeah.
Was there any talk of, because obviously when you have your Fred Flintstone club in the
Oh yeah.
did we ever toy with that idea of that being the weapon, or did we go, that's just not going to work?
It wasn't when I did think they might have done. You might have done that, but when I was introduced to the really big club that got cut down, it certainly wasn't.
I think we needed something that would justify you kicking the butts of more than two or three Knaf.
Yeah.
I think the staff gets that range. But I think one of the things that may not be obvious watching the fight on the bridge is everything you can see on that really narrow bridge has to have a camera op with a camera on that space as well. So having to cut down, because we could have probably done the fight if we weren't filming it, but trying to have somebody going around that process as well, kind of we obviously had to make those adjustments.
You just remind me, Gabriel was the other local crew, the sound guy that we had there. So
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Oh, Gabriel.
Yeah.
So you've got the sound guy as well in the middle of it. Because our usual sound guy Dale was there with us supporting, but he was the Knath that got thrown over the bridge and he tips the water out of his helmet. That's Dale. So he did all the sound for us.
Yeah.
I have to say, thanks to Ash and Rose, my staff is a work of art, but it's dark. We're moving fast and nobody can see. But I'm just letting you all know it's beautiful.
Will it come back?
Yeah.
Will it come back? Well,
And easier to find than the twig in episode 1. Amazing twig in episode 1 that just disappeared amongst the real twigs.
Speaking of props, should we talk about the what happened at the top of the hill with Hunter's token?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, there's that lovely close up of what the token that Hestinger gave him gave Hunter in the tavern, and just before we shot that close up, Alex decided to drop it on a rock, and then we ended up with 2 tokens. So yeah, I remember Ash was there with a lighter, trying to block the wind, trying to melt the things together to try and fortunately it worked because obviously we got the close-up, but classic Hunter style. I think he was posing for a photo as well at the time. I can't remember exactly, but that was a nice bit of production fun.
Yes. Is the most remote place you could be to have to suddenly remake a prop. Yes. How's the spin-off coming, Jonnie? Toby says. Is that
Toby seems to know more than I do.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Patreon and fund the spin-off, and I'll be there.
Yeah. It's probably a reference to something we idly said 2 or 3 minutes ago and have already forgotten.
Probably, yes. Yeah.
Yes. I think Mr. Zeman loved that tavern scene, says JHGK98. He mentioned the monologue back in the Patreon interview. Really turned out great, top notch. It definitely did. Simon C's asking a cinematography question. Was love those. What choice of lenses did you use? What about anamorphic? So no, we shot on spherical lenses. Ari Rental gave us the most insane deal on a camera package in the history of filmmaking, I think. And they let us have an Arri Alexa Mini and a set of 10 Cooke S4 classics for just an absolutely pitiful fee. So huge thanks to them, huge thanks to Simon Surtees for arranging that for us. That, if you'd told me when I was shooting season 1 that I'd have got that package to shoot season 2 on, I would have lost my mind. Yes, it was really nice to bring the Cook look to Ren. I mean, like, these are lenses that, you know, have shot stuff like Casino Royale. You know, they're serious cine lenses.
We got a 14mm in there eventually, didn't we? I think the cart going over the camera, or is that 18?
Oh, I can't remember now.
But I know it was my side quest to get a 14mm lens shot in Ren.
Jonnie really likes his wide lenses.
Maybe the bridge shot, actually, where he leans over and he's looking out. That's quite wide.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Just a sound nerd moment. There's the Wilhelm scream when the Kanath fall off the bridge. Is it in there? That's good. Dale said it was in there, but I keep failing to notice it. But I'm glad someone else has noticed it. Cool. Toby watched the Christmas live stream.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right.
We had too much eggnog. We've forgotten.
Right. Cook.
It was Ronan's birthday, so yeah, we were all celebrating.
I certainly do love cinematography, JHGK98. Thank you very much. Katie B says, my sister who is watching says that you should make a spin-off of Khan's background story. What did everyone think of Khan's? You know, I'm speaking to the audience now in the chat.
Okay.
So what did you think of Khan's little appearance in that episode?
I will just say, thank God you reshot it.
Yeah. So so obviously the battlefield scene in tonight's episode was shot at the same time as the one in last week's episode, and so Christopher Dane actually directed both of them. In fact, they were filmed as one continuous shot. So you could actually watch the whole thing through of Talon running in, turning Khan over, healing him, looking at his bloody hands, and then looking out at the battlefield, and then looking down into the puddle. But yes,
hands that were bloody, not that he went, oh, bloody hands.
Yeah, bloody hands.
I'm doing on my forearms.
And if you saw the making of episode 2 that came out on our YouTube channel a few days ago, you can hear the story from Chris's own mouth of how we had to film it a second time and see a clip of the original version. But it was 100% worth doing it all over again. Looked brilliant, Kate Sykes says. It's certainly, I think you mean the battlefield, but thank you either way. What's happened to Bainan? Simon C is asking. Well, you'll have to wait and see, I'm afraid.
Hello, baby.
Oh, did you not see him at the bridge?
Khan making an appearance was a powerful moment, says JHTK98. I hope to see more of him in the future. Well, stay tuned. Cool. I think at this point we should do our commentary. So let's kick off the episode. Here we go. Starting with our previously on. And just jump in, guys, if you have anything to say.
No pressure.
Well, I'm going to say Richard did a really good job of wearing the bandage on his face and playing it seriously. Because obviously, like, having a bandage stuck to your face isn't that cool, but is relevant to the story. And he did it. He carried it well. It'll be the new fashion trend, I think.
I have to say, when I first saw that, I thought, oh God, does it just look like he's got toilet paper stuck in his face? But
so yes, instead of charming, it's Kana.
Best title sequence since Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And we did experiment with putting a little bit of the first scene before the opening titles, but it didn't really work. You didn't see Ren or Hunter, and it was too quick. This first little bit.
It's the Walking Dead shot.
Or was it the Star Wars shot?
Yeah, so that's meant, yeah, the Star Destroyer going over the. That's our little another Star Wars nod.
Maybe we could resound the whole episode for
Yeah.
a special
with the New
Star
Hope
Wars
clips. Yeah. Love
I'm
this.
like trying to find my mark in the middle of a dark field.
That's why you needed lightsabers.
Yeah.
JHGK98 says, how great is the comeback of the prison guy, now a prison cart handler and fighting Hunter again. Hopefully
There's
other
that
people
spin-off
picked up
for
on
you. Ivan's own little story. Here comes Helen.
Overacting, marvellous. It's great fun.
Intentional overacting.
Of course, yes. I love that cloak.
And then there's Meg. Yeah, you poor prisoners had to sit in that cart for a long, long time.
Yeah, we never got to see their bums. They could have actually had cushions in hindsight.
Yeah.
Well,
literal hindsight.
yeah, I thought we were going to do that. Didn't we do that? Oh dear.
I think there's Dale.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dale.
Maybe they did, but they didn't complain. So
No.
Dale again. Dale again. Well, actually,
Voiced by Neil.
because yes, that is my voice going.
Shout out for Ash there by doing the arrow through the lantern on location, just whipping it up there. It looked great.
Yes, Ash was the sole member of the art department during this scene, so I had to keep lighting the torches and put them out again and doing all this other stuff, covering the floor with straw and covering up there's a signpost that had to be covered with ivy and things.
No. Ash was almost 1 second ahead. It's like she could read our minds. So it was just like you thought of something and then they were already doing it. It's like, how amazing. Okay, so the one has started. Do we start counting the cuts now? Do we reveal it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this is still shot one and cut.
Yeah, and this shot was actually flipped.
Flipped, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, in post because of we trimmed a little bit out.
Yeah.
Just to speed things up a bit.
That was so. This is shot 3.
I think this was the hardest bit of the whole thing, was trying to get Ren coming from the tree line, which was, 500 meters away or whatever. But in reality, then just jumping onto the bridge and getting there and then passing. It's kind of worked. That was the hardest bit, I think, trying to get the dialogue and keeping the energy going.
Yeah. And that's, I think, we did work a lot of that out in the studio, didn't we? Just figuring out what line, who's going to be on camera saying what and when. So yeah, that prep time was invaluable, really. Just Helen being beaten up in the background casually. If only I had my club. Perfect for short range. And then Steph, Ross, and Meg save the day. There's Ivan's roll.
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 more cuts as well, going behind people's backs.
Classic.
Another one there.
One, yeah. And again. Whenever the camera whips.
Yeah.
The knife catch looks seamless, I think.
Yeah, because when Ren appears to throw Hunter the knife, we whip pan to Hunter.
Yeah, so Alex started with the knife in his hand, didn't he? He kind of did a fake catch.
Yeah, he just sort of throws it a few inches into the air and catches it again.
Yeah. And his great reaction shot. Charge.
So this was tricky because once that gets to the top of the hill, go an extra foot, it's going down without stopping. So we had to kind of spend a bit of time getting it to the top hill and trying to get it rolled down because it wouldn't actually go down the hill in a straight line.
No.
No. Ash fitted little casters to the back feet to help it roll. But yeah.
Then also by that end, because when we wanted it to hit the wall, we wanted it to kind of splinter and shatter. So when you were all pushing it for that final bit, it had all been unscrewed and loosened. So who knew what was going to happen, really?
Yeah. And
It still didn't die.
It still did not die. Yeah.
No one was actually in front of the cart when we pushed it there. That was all visual trickery.
Yeah. And it's we can reveal that the soldier that gets squashed by the cart is actually played by Constanza Ruff, who is Sergeant Madanas in a dual role in the same scene.
My twin sister.
Another spin-off revenge story.
Yeah.
Why didn't Ren just keep shooting here? Well, because she didn't have a clear shot because of Hunter. JHGK98.
Yeah. This shot was really fun to do. Because, yeah, after the madness of the night shoot, or this was in between night shoots, wasn't it? It was a much calmer scene. Nice change of pace.
I think all the cast were very generous with their energy.
Yeah.
Commitment. And crew, obviously, but that's kind of expected, whereas the cast aren't always that great.
Here we go. This took a few attempts of timing.
Because I'm having to walk up the bridge sideways with the camera on my shoulders.
This is a good shot showing that if anything went wrong, that's how far people would actually have to fall. Showing the shoot. It's your classic light shining through some stuff there now.
Yeah.
It's not like your trademark.
Trademark shafts of light, yeah.
Totally real window, yeah.
You don't get the shots of him walking past the window, which you spent ages working at, which was lovely. It was really good.
Yes, well, yeah, I think we may see that version eventually.
Put in the comments below if you want to see a director's cut of episode 3, where you can see more Richard and more fighting. It is out there somewhere.
If you get 400 patrons, we can do the fight that we never saw. When all the bodies are dead, we can go back and shoot.
Yes.
I think I might need more than 400.
From this point on, it's the Richard Zeman show, and that's how we want it.
I had to run outside and heard, I think, guinea fowl or something, because they were making a racket.
That's right. Yeah, this farm was a great place to use as our studio, but there's a lot of bird noises on the whole soundtrack.
And what's the name of the... I did the Christmas quiz and lost it, but what's the name of the board game again?
Dole Egg.
No,
That was one of those things where I pitched it to Richard. It's like, oh yeah, then you just casually put out the fire with your finger. Not, I would never do that myself. Way too uncool.
Yeah, as Christopher Buckingham says there, we did spend ages with the flags working out how to get the window effect. Because we had to use walkie-talkies to communicate and get that all timed out.
I remember this scene in the premiere, and just you could just the room, you could just the focus on Richard's performance was lovely. It was great.
He has a lot in this series, like in terms of character change and things that his character goes through. Because season 1, his performance is strong, but obviously he's just got one short arc.
Yeah.
which is bad. And then there's a lot more colour and variety in the script for this one.
Yeah. I think it was 3 or 4 takes for this. Wasn't that many.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. We did try one where he spoke through the hand, the little arm guard. Tried that way. It's like mouth the truth. It was like, no. Sorry, Richard, that was a bad note.
Should we regroup and prepare to raid it, sir?
First hint of a red uniforming will be
JHGK98 wants multiple commentary tracks.
prisoner, talkative friend, and stand down.
Sir?
The crane.
Messenger.
Yeah, back at Little Woodham, 17th century village here. In fact, we shot this before the scenes from episode 2.
Hmm.
Take a message.
No Hunter.
No.
Something I must do to keep her safe. To keep Iran and Jirah safe.
And this messenger was a son of someone that volunteers there. Is that correct?
Yes, so this is Will McKinnon, who did a great job as our messenger. Yeah, his mum Sam is one of the volunteers.
There's our Kurosawa shot. Yojimbo. Commander Yojimbo. Lord of the Rings. So yeah, that's a shout out. All of those drone shots in Wales, that was Jonathan.
Jonathan Candy, yeah.
He was great.
And
We had like YouTube of the Two Towers when they're chasing after the Uruk-hai and Merry and Pippin. It's like, how can we get this kind of thing for our montage?
And
This was back in St. Ives.
Yeah. And the shots of them in the rain and the one before that when they're eating were actually filmed by Christopher Dane for episode 2, and then I interfered and rearranged the
Classic
montage.
showrunner. Yeah.
Yeah, that close-up of the token that's actually Alex's brother Seb
Really?
holding the token. Yeah, it's his hand. That's a pickup shot.
I mean, if you're going to do a montage, you either have to reference Rocky or the Karate Kid, and we opted for the latter. Yeah, suddenly running up some steps in Philadelphia just didn't feel right. Lo and behold, another night shoot.
Yeah.
The foliage is really interesting in that entire area, whatever those
Yeah,
brambles
the white,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, what was really interesting actually was how much all those areas of the farm changed between, sort of March, April when we were first scouting them and building the sets to when we actually filmed them in May. All the different undergrowth blossoming. So, yeah, here's Khan's appearance, and this is all done with a GoPro attached just under Surya's chin.
Did you put water on top of the mirror?
No.
Or was it just that mirror? Literally just the mirror.
It's just a mirror. It's been sort of masked and darkened in post to try and get it to match, because the puddle to the left of it is a real puddle, so we try to get them to match. and then because after Talon heals Khan, Surya then had to put his hands behind his back, and Rose was there dumping loads of fake blood onto them so that he could then bring really bloody hands up into
Movie magic.
Yeah.
On Matt, first AC, nice focus pull amongst lots of nice focus pulls.
Yeah, shout out to Matt Davis there. And that drone
Which
shot.
part, yeah. Comments, guess which part of the deer is real and which parts are not.
Which reminds me of Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it?
Donnie Darko mixed with Evil Dead.
And shout out to Tom O'Hare, who made the deer, the part of the deer that's real.
And then just off screen to the left, Rose has her hand up the deer There's no delicate way to put it, really. She had her hand up the deer and was breathing, and that's actually Rose's breath coming onto the screen from where the deer's head would have been. So, production designer and dying deer. It's a tasteful CV.
Deer leg dog toys, dog treats. They're used for the twitching deer legs.
And a lot of range from Ori in this episode as well. She goes like action hero to this more dramatic turn as well.
If we leave at first light, we'll get Elder Hill by noon. Then we can find the Archivist.
And I really pushed Alex to flex his comedy chops in this episode as well, which I'm thankful for him for trusting me to do. There's Matt Sisk, so that's Richard's double with his horse Sky. Shot many months later than this shot.
Yes.
Do you remember, Neil, when we first saw that rock?
Yes. So we'd seen photos of this rock, but we didn't actually see it in person until the day we filmed there. And we were surprised by how small it was. I mean, it's cool looking, but in the photos it looked a lot bigger.
Yeah. And that was the token shot where just before Alex had broken it in half.
But yeah, this is the crypt of Morlice Castle, which is a ruin near Merthyr Tydfil that you can go and visit.
Cue EastEnders drum.
There we go. That was episode 3.
Ooh.
Rose is in the chat. Hello, Rose. I don't think I've ever looked crazier than puppeteering a deer in a field at 2 a.m.
Puppeteering, that's the technical term for having your hand up something. So there you go. Yeah. Rose knows what she's doing.
Yeah. That was cool. From the viewer's POV, it was worth it, let me tell you. Yes, it was. Cool. Just checking to see if I missed any comments there. Yeah, a couple of requests for director's cut. Yeah, I think we will be doing that on episode 3. Episode 3's definitely got the most changes, I think. It was the longest. Well, as you saw, that it was the longest episode. And how long was the first cut, Jonnie?
The very first one was 21, I want to say. It was it was definitely in the 20s, that first one that Kat and I did. But yeah, I think the director's cut was sitting around 19 odd minutes.
Yeah, so there's more dialogue in the scene with Othon and the messenger. That was quite a lot longer as filmed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just cut that right down to keep things moving.
Yeah.
Alex is in the chat. We'll be forever grateful for Jonnie letting us run about in the most LOTR style possible.
I mean, yeah, coming off the back of night shoots, we go, right, there's a drone up there, guys, just run in that direction, any direction. It's Wales, it looks lovely. Have fun. But I remember there's a shot, I don't think that's made it, but it was from top down. It might be in the teaser trailer, but because the sun was kind of setting, they've got really nice long shadows as it's looking directly down on them. And it's like we couldn't stop Alex climbing on things.
Oh, they climbed up the rocks. Yeah, that was a cool shot. I very nearly put it into. It was like one of the last things that I was looking at in the editing, actually.
I mean, it's not a bad situation to be in. That there's lots of good stuff. Yeah, that's.
I had to stop because Ori got tired. Alex says, "Of course, blame Ori."
See, their banter extends off screen.
Yes. Oh, that's true. We don't know if the Alex we're talking to in the chat, the Alexander we're talking to in the chat, is Alexander Hackett or Alexander Othon's Scar. As they are namesakes. Indeed, great work, Asanta.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining us and for doing that little commentary through the episode. That was good fun. Any little hints, Ronin, perhaps that you want to drop about what's coming in episode 4?
More fights, more Richard. More Richard maybe doing fights. So yeah, here's some good character stuff in episode 4. More great locations. Again, thank you, Rose. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but there's
You're okay until the laser dot appears through your window.
I suppose because they kind of have a nice moment of relaxation after the bridge fight where they can kind of shoot deer and like have a character moment, and then episode 4 starts going downhill again for them quickly, so they don't have too long a respite. So the pressure's back on. It's a bit like The Fugitive this season. One long chase.
Yes.
But yeah, it's quite good. And then a few twists and surprises at the very end. You can watch
Absolutely.
I mean, now we need Harrison Ford to guest star. That would just be. I didn't kill Bonan.
And of course, you actually directed a little bit of episode 4, Jonnie.
Yes, following Sophie's detailed storyboards and notes. But yeah, she was unfortunately unable to join us in Wales. So while we were there, it made sense to get some shots with or without Richard, who knows, up there. And
if you look carefully, you can see Jonnie in episode 4 doing a cameo.
Yes, I trained for months to get that right. That cameo, that's my life's work right there. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Don't quit the day job, that's for sure.
Fantastic. Well, I think that about wraps us up for today. The Mouth of Truth will be back. Same time next week, sort of. Of course, our clocks go forward in the UK here tonight, so that will be 5 p.m. BST. So if you're outside the UK, it may seem to be an hour earlier for you. But we will be back after episode 4, the season 2 finale, with special guests director Sophie Black and Therese Collins, who plays a new character who you haven't met yet. I've almost forgotten who's the other person. Oh, of course, and then someone else who plays another new character you haven't met yet. I'm not even going to say who that is at all. But yeah, we will be joined by the director and 2 of the cast, and no more spoilers. Except that yes, Jonnie is hammering chainmail in episode 4. There you go. That's maybe Johnny's. Maybe Jonnie is the archivist.
You can hammer chainmail. It is a thing. We googled it. People do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't keep me up at night. You're wrong.
And on that note, thank you to Ronin Traynor, to Jonnie Howard, and to Helen Fullerton for joining me here tonight on The Mouth of Truth. Thank you everyone for watching. Go join the Patreon, help us reach that 300 paid member goal. Spread the word all you can, and we will see you next week. Good night, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone.